So, Keyshawn, LeBron says that's not a question for me. Do you believe that he'll have little to no input into whatever the Lakers do or don't do at the trade deadline?
Well, I think he will have conversations, what that input would be. I don't think he carries the same sway as he once did with front office and management with the Lakers. I just don't think that. I think that they want to pull back the reins from Clutch and Rich Paul and LeBron James making some major executive decisions on the roster. Now, he's a superstar, so you're going to have a conversation with him because you need to know, can he play with whoever you try to acquire,
Absolutely.
if you acquire anyone.
Yep.
But it won't be this go get him demand that we heard about for so many years with LeBron James. I think that for the Lakers, for the most part, I think that has kind of come to, a little bit of a halt. When you start to say, what's going to happen with LeBron James down the line?
Yeah.
And in the end, is LeBron James' noise that comes with LeBron is quieted down about players that he wants, right? We're not hearing that. What we are hearing, though, is LeBron on the trading block. Are they going to move LeBron? Is he going to opt in? Those are the sort of things, because if you go back and you look at the past, all the teams that he's ever been around, you heard LeBron wants this. They better go get this, because if they don't get that, this is what's going to happen, and then they go do something. We're not hearing that right now. All we're hearing about is LeBron still going to be here after Thursday? That's the big questions that come up. So that's why I say I don't know how much influence he's going to actually have in what they do.
So do you feel like he and management are somewhat at odds for the first time? There's a little friction?
Well, you got to think back to the Westbrook situation, right? He wanted Westbrook, what many people thought
pushed hard for him.
Many people thought they wanted to go in a different direction. They allowed him, I guess, to do what it was that he wanted, and it didn't work out.
No.
And as you remember, a year or so ago, G. Buss said, I've got to take control back of this organization and this team. And I think that's what she has been trying to do along with Rob Pelinka. So we'll see on Thursday, 5 Eastern time deadline? So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's tired. I think he's frustrated. I think he's irritated. But he's a Mount Rushmore player, which is, obviously the greatest player during his time. And you don't move players like that. At the trade deadline, you don't move them mid-season. It's either before the season or after the season. You don't move LeBron James. You don't move Kobe Bryant. You don't move Jordan. You don't move none of them unless they want to be moved, and you don't do it at the trade deadline, because how many guys get traded at trade deadline go on to win championships? Have you ever heard of a guy like that? I've never heard of a situation like that. So I don't think he's going to ever be moved at the trade deadline. But I just don't see a piece that gets them over the hump, that is just like, oh, man, this guy is going to answer a lot of the problems and the issues we have, because they don't have a ton of issues when they play the game the right way. Then when they play the game the right way, they play with great effort. They play effort on the defensive end. They execute offensively. As LeBron said, as the rest of the team has said, they can beat anybody. But they just don't do that consistently. They don't play with consistent effort. They don't play with consistent intensity on the defensive end. So they then lose to teams they shouldn't lose to. And so, no, I don't see a lot of traction or energy towards what they're going to do at the trade deadline, because I feel like they think they have a good enough roster right now to compete for a championship. They just need to play at the level that they're capable of more consistently. And I'm happy with the 3-game win streak, Skip. I'm very excited right now.
No, you should be. There is no way they're going to trade LeBron James. And there's no way he shouldn't have some input into whatever moves they make. But I'm with Richard. I don't see a move that can be made. Would you trade Austin Reeves? You're not that high or not sold on him, Keyshawn, but I think they're sold. I think LeBron's sold enough that he wants to keep Austin Reeves. Would you trade D'Angelo Russell? Well, I'm looking at the numbers since he came back from his bruised tailbone. That's 16 games worth. He's averaging 22 a game on 45% shooting from 3. Well, he's been pretty great. And if they can just get healthy, if they can get Cam Reddish back and Jared Vanderbilt back and maybe Gabe Vincent for a little bit of this season, because he's been there for 5 games, they're pretty good. they have a chance. With LeBron James playing at the level he's still playing at, I think he had 7 dunks last night in Charlotte, they have a chance. Without LeBron, they would not have a chance. I don't know what you could get back from him, but not nearly enough to replace him. And Anthony Davis has been playing at a very high level, and he had, I think it was a career-high 8 assists at halftime last night. So that was the highest assists he's had in a half in his career. I like this team as long as they could get healthy and commit to playing a little bit of defense, because we saw them commit to play defense in the in-season tournament. You saw they're capable of it. I've seen them play defense against Oklahoma City. I've seen them play defense against the Clippers. I've seen the best of this team, and it's good enough to contend in the Western Conference.
You know, Skip, it's not that I don't like Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
You know, he's 8 of 3 last night, 0 for 5 from 3.
No, he didn't have a great game.
He didn't play well. He had 11 assists, but didn't play well. It's not that I don't like him.
He did have 11.
What I try and do, because I didn't play in the NBA, but I got a lot of NBA friends that I deal with, a lot of executives in the NBA, I try to listen to them because they know NBA basketball far more than I do. And when they tell me, he's a good player, I have to take that into consideration. I can't all of a sudden take him and put him at another level when there's an opportunity to maybe get somebody at another level. I understand we like him. He's a good player. But sometimes when you hold on to good players, when you can get something more, you defeat the purpose of trying to win a championship. So my whole thing is, okay, is there somebody out there in a package that includes Austin Reeves that you can bring back? I would never trade LeBron James. I'm just sitting here telling you what the noise is. The noise is LeBron. Then LeBron adds to it by putting things, a towel on, a Nick towel on his head. Like you're adding to the conversation. And then on top of that, the Lakers organization hasn't come out and said, well, what the hell do we look like trading LeBron James? They never, did you hear anybody say that? I haven't heard anybody say that. No. Usually, the organization would come out and say, well,
True.
We're not, what?
That's crazy.
Even if we didn't get it directly from Genie and company, we usually can get it from an NBA insider who's dialed into the organization that would say, hey, I spoke to an executive with the team, and they said there's no way in hell. Yeah. And then when Rich Paul, his agent, says
he felt compelled to make a public statement?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
We don't want to be traded?
I don't know what's going to happen on Thursday. Yeah. I think they would be stupid to get rid of LeBron, but you just never know. You just never know, man.
I just don't. I don't think they make a statement because I think they think it's so asinine that anybody would say that it's beyond making a statement that we're not going to trade LeBron James, because why would we even speak about trading LeBron? Why would we even put those words in the same sentence?
Richard, but how many times?
That's how ridiculous it is.
How many times have you heard organizations, when top players' names are linked to some movement, they simply will tell you, over my dead body would we ever move so and so. They just do.
There's even though you and I know,
even though you and I know that it's stupid to do such a thing, there's other people that feed into it, and then they become inundated with emails and phone calls, and the organization has to deal with it. So they put out a PR statement to say, no, that's not happening. That's all I'm saying.
There's not a player of LeBron James's stature in the NBA, and there hasn't been since Kobe or Jordan. And so you don't need to. There's nobody to compare it. There's no situation to compare it to because there's nobody to compare it to outside of those guys. And you're not going to hear about mid-season trades for Jordan, mid-season trades for Kobe. I think you heard speculation maybe one year when Kobe was really unhappy and Kobe was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be a Laker. But he was openly saying that I'm not going to be here very long. So if LeBron James was speculating, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be here next year, then I could hear them coming out with a statement saying, hey, we're not trading LeBron James. But I think they're not going to make smoke where there's no smoke. They're not going to entertain things that are really irrational. And so I'm with them. Don't entertain nonsense.
Yeah, but we are in the business of following these athletes, Richard. And when LeBron James does some of the things that he does and says some of the things that he says, his agent a week ago said LeBron is not asking for a trade. And LeBron he's not on the trading block. This is from his agent, Rich Paul. Yeah. And then the moment that LeBron asked about his option, he He's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He's adding to that speculation.
He does.
He's doing that. Then he takes and he puts on the Knicks towel. I don't know what all that means. Do I think LeBron wants to leave LA? No, I do not. But I don't know what it means. I have no idea what that means.
Well, that's, as an organization, you just wait till Thursday. You don't have to answer any questions. You know what the result's going to be. We're not trading LeBron James. It'll be obvious Thursday. And so I'm with them. Putting a Knicks towel on when you're sitting at the Garden and all the towels in the locker rooms are Knicks towels. I mean, it leads to speculation, but it's nonsense. You know, y'all think he's going to be playing for the Knicks next season? I highly doubt it, but I mean, then if it happens, then you can say, well, we knew because of this Knicks towel. But
he's always wanted to play. He's always
doubt.
wanted to play for the Knicks. I'm just saying what he said, man. I'm not making anything up. I didn't make the news. I'm just delivering the news. That's it.
Look, LeBron has always sent passive, aggressive messages to management with little this and little that. The hourglass has run out. Time has run out on you. You better do what needs to get done. And yet, LeBron does deserve to have input because he has shown us over time. I think he has high basketball IQ as it relates to picking players, except the one swing and miss was on Westbrook, and I still don't get it because as soon as I heard it, I'm like, what are you thinking? He's high turnover, poor shooter. I don't know. I know he plays hard, and he's found that little niche as that 6th or 7th man coming off the Clippers bench. I got you.
But they corrected that, though.
They did.
They corrected the Westbrook mistake.
They did. And that was also LeBron's doing. He knew right away, no, we cannot survive with him as a starter on this team. So I hark back to the Jordan days, covered him in Chicago, and Jerry Krause, the GM, was famous for saying no to Michael. When Michael wanted a lot of North Carolina, like Al Wood, let's go get Al Wood. No, Jerry said no, he can't play. He doesn't fit here. Well, Michael went on to prove that he was simply the worst picker of basketball talent in the history of the league because he became the worst GM ever in his run, obviously, in Charlotte. And that's over. So with LeBron, his ability to pick players is much higher to me than Jordan's. I give him that big advantage over Jordan. It doesn't relate to playing basketball, but in picking basketball players. But he does have. So how could you exclude him? If you're going to go get somebody, wouldn't you want him to sign off?
I don't think they're saying excluding. Yeah. What I think is he had so much weight.
Yeah,
I don't think that.
Don't forget, he went. It was a clutch move, but it worked.
Yeah, but
they went and got Anthony Davis.
Yeah, but I don't think that weight is there quite the same as it once was because he's older in his career. Okay, I don't think that I just don't feel that. I just don't feel that way. At least from people that I know around the NBA and things of that nature, they don't feel that way. So naturally, I'm not going to feel that way.
You got to feel that way because if you make him too unhappy, then he opts out and he walks at the end of the season. You know, obviously he's talked about playing with his son. I don't think his son is going to declare for the NBA draft. I don't think he would get drafted high enough right now. So it would be in his best interest to play another. This year?
If he comes out, he'll get drafted. He'll get drafted.
Well, I mean, he'll get drafted because people want LeBron to go to their organization. But I just, I think he wouldn't be having a season that he would want to have coming out of college to get drafted where he wants to get drafted. But I think that's why LeBron James is saying that. He's saying, I don't know. If my son comes out and gets drafted to the New Orleans Pelicans, I mean, I highly doubt LeBron's going to New Orleans. But he wants to leave his options open if that's something that he wants to pursue.
Now, remember, college basketball players, in Bronny's case, a lot of college basketball players you can't show a whole lot. He may be better suited as a pro basketball player than a college basketball player. I mean, you just check the box on Westbrook. That's just one. I can go on and on and on about many good guys in college that didn't fill up the box scores in college.
Check the box on Michael Jordan at North Carolina. Check it out.
Check that too.
But is Bronny even a starter?
That's a good question.
Well,
at least be a starter.
His condition that he's
I don't know that he's starting right now, but that doesn't matter though. College basketball is not. It's not like football, Richard. College basketball is nowhere near like football. They've already made a decision. They've already made a decision. The NBA scouts and executives have already made a decision on basketball players by the time they get to college on where they're going to be as far as prospects go. They've already made that decision. Going to college is just an extra layer for 1 year, maybe 2 years. If you start getting guys into 3 and 4 years of college basketball, that ain't the same. They like basketball upside in youth in hoops different than football.
Yeah,
Except
but
for
I've
Austin
only
Reeves.
heard of like backups
Well, he was
being drafted in the
Austin
first
Reeves
round.
was 9 years in college.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but guess what? He was a
Right.
G League guy before he became a starter for the Lakers.
Not really. I mean, he just stepped on the floor and just made the team. I mean, he just took off. I watched him at Oklahoma. He wasn't half this kind of player.
Not half. But he
Players,
might be a better
players at
college.
Kentucky get drafted as backups sometimes, as bench players, but I've never heard of a guy at SC being a backup that isn't behind five.
But this ain't a guy at
lottery picks.
USC, though.
Yeah.
This is what you got to realize, Richard. This is not a guy at USC. This is a guy with the last name, James. There's a big difference than a normal bench player at a college. Different situation.
Yeah, but the name James isn't getting him in the starting lineup, so I don't know if it's going to get him in the first round of an NBA draft. But I don't call those shots. We'll see.
But we can dive deeper into why he could potentially be a first round player. Just see, we can dive into it offline, and I'll bring you up to speed a little bit more.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
All right, let's dive into who will be the top pick in the next NFL draft. Caleb Williams to the Bears at number 1. Does that mean Justin Fields is about to be on the trading block? That's next. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.